Today we are on championship case number 15. 2 to go. 1 to go after this one. But this is the last time I will ever make a why Kevin Harvick will win the championship. This one, the 2023 edition. I think he's one of the few that has been on every single year of making these. Him, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, maybe. But anyways, point being, we're getting distracted. These are not predictions. If you want my predictions on the playoffs, those will be coming out on Friday, so look forward to that. Friday, I will be making my full NASCAR playoff preview and predictions video. But as for now, I go through all 16 drivers and talk about their chances of winning a championship, giving them a championship case. Today is Kevin Harvick. Tomorrow, the final one is Bubba Wallace. But as for Harvick, I'm not going to lie. I'm a Jeff Gordon fan, and the playoffs, the chase, whatever, they screwed Gordon out of a few championships. Kevin Harvick might be the only one who's got screwed more than Gordon in the chase playoff era. Harvick only has one championship, 2014, but without the playoffs, without the chase, he could easily have 4 or 5. So, to be honest with you, as I hate this playoff format because of what a crapshoot it is and because, someone can dominate the whole season like Harvick did in 2020 and then not win the championship. I would be a little bit satisfied if Harvick won the championship this year after, he's been top 5 in regular season points. Don't get me wrong. He hasn't been terrible this year, but he has yet to win. He has currently 6 top 5s, 12 top 10s, and a stage win. But the point being is that he hasn't had a championship caliber year like a Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, William Byron. Those 3 have been kind of the class of the field, really. They've been top 3 in points for the majority of the year. Harvick's been 5th to 8th in the points. I think it would be funny. I think it would be ironic, but can he get it done in his last year? We really went on a side rant there. But can Kevin Harvick get it done in his final year of the Cup Series? Well, we're going to talk it through Kevin Harvick. Thankfully for me, this playoff case, usually when we get down from 12 to 16, that's when the playoff cases get tougher. But thankfully, Kevin Harvick has a bunch of experience at these tracks, a bunch of competitive results at these tracks, so it actually makes my job easier here. Like this first round, Kevin Harvick, I expect him to get out of this first round because of Darlington and Bristol alone. Harvick has always been good at Darlington. He's won there multiple times. He's been, even in his uncompetitive years, which have been, the last couple of years, and even then he's still been like top 5 in points. Like this year, Harvick doesn't have a win. He's competed for wins every once in a while, but SHR as a whole has been down. Kevin Harvick has been carrying that team, but, compared to his 2020, his 2018, even 2019 and 2017, it hasn't been as competitive. But even in those down years, as I said, he's been competitive. And at Darlington, I think he finished runner-up in the spring. He still runs extremely well there at, 47 years old. The Bristol night race has been a great race for him the past couple of years. Won it back in 2020. Was fighting for the win in 2021. The Bristol night race, I expect him to run top 5, honestly. In both of these races, I could see him with top 5 finishes, and I think that's enough. He doesn't have the playoff points, and I have to bring up the point of you need more playoff points, and usually this is where the point comes that I say, look at Kevin Harvick's 2020, but if it's a Kevin Harvick fan watching this, they already know that, so apologies for bringing up the bad memories. Anyways, Kevin Harvick, I think Darlington and Bristol, he can do enough, and Kansas, he can do enough that he'll get out of this first round. As for the second round, I got to be honest, I hate this round for Kevin Harvick. Texas, as of the repave, has been fantastic for Harvick. He won 4 straight fall races there after the repave, 2017, 2018, 2019, I think just the 3. But he's run extremely well at Texas since the repave. I don't know what it is about the repave, the reconfiguration, but he has it figured out. And then as for Talladega and the Roval, yeah, he just got a top 10 at Daytona this past weekend, but he hasn't ever really been a great super speedway racer. He's got a Talladega win. I think the last one was 2010, so over a decade ago. His last Daytona win was 2010. I mean, it's been a while since Kevin Harvick's won on a super speedway, and usually he gets involved in a wreck, which isn't always his fault. He did intentionally start that wreck in 2015, though. Anyways, point being, the super speedways have not been the greatest for Kevin Harvick. Then we go to the Roval. I think he had a runner-up or a third-place finish back in 2019, but other than that, he drove straight into the wall in 2021. Man, Harvick fans are going to hate me. I've brought up like all the bad memories for him. The crappy chase format, 2015 Talladega, and 2021 Roval. I promise we'll get to good memories, Harvick fans. Homestead and Phoenix are down the list. But seriously, though, Harvick, the road courses and super speedways have never really been his thing, especially in this next-gen era where we have so many road courses and so many guys that are so good at road courses. Harvick, it's just never been his thing. And I think that could hurt him realistically. And Texas, with the points deficit, if he crashes out at Talladega or has a really poor showing at the Roval, it may come down to a must-win at Texas. Ironically, he wouldn't know it was a must-win then. But Texas, I think he can run top 5. But then for Talladega and the Roval, honestly, I think it's about survival. I think Talladega, he just has to survive. Other guys are going to get involved in crashes. Finish top 10 if you can. Top 15. Do what you did at Daytona is what I would recommend. As for the Roval, try to get yourself some stage points if you can. Top 15. Stay out of trouble. And I think that could squeak him into the third round, but it would be extremely close if he did that. But let's say he does that, gets a top 5 at Texas, collects a bunch of stage points. Talladega, he survives for a top 10, maybe gets a stage point or 5 there. And then the Roval, he survives, and he advances to the round of 8. The round of 8 is Vegas, Homestead, Martinsville. Homestead and Vegas. Vegas, I would say, is a better track for him. He's won there a few times over his career. Finished top 10 there in the spring. But yes, Kevin Harvick, as I said, he has a long history at a lot of these racetracks. Has won at a lot of these racetracks. But Vegas seems to be one of his better mile and a halves. Kind of like what I said with Texas, where he's kind of really just, ever since the repave, the reconfiguration, he's figured it out. Vegas, he really figured it out there for about 5 years, 2013, 2014 to 2019. He had a few wins there. But obviously, Stewart-Haas Racing has not been great this year. Their best tracks have been short tracks, actually. So Vegas, I think he can get a top 10. Even Homestead. I think the mile and a halves, Kevin Harvick's always going to be a contender for a top 10. The mile and a halves he's always had figured out. It doesn't matter what generation of car, what team, he's always had those tracks figured out. So I don't think that's a factor. It's a factor of Stewart-Haas Racing. Can they bring the speed? And honestly, even if they can bring top 10 speed to both those races, he's going to be in a massive points deficit. There are going to be guys that are going to be beating him pretty handily. And it's not against Kevin Harvick's driving. As I said, it's Stewart-Haas Racing. They've struggled this year. And the fact of the matter is, in this round is going to be Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Kyle Larson. They're all going to have a lot more points than him, and they're going to be running better than him. Harvick's going to be in a big hole, and I think it's going to take a win here. Unfortunately for Harvick, that's what it's going to take. But I think his best shot, actually, is probably the statistical worst track for him in this round, which is Martinsville. Harvick only has one win at Martinsville. I think he only has one win at Homestead, too, but I think he is. We're getting sidetracked. Anyways, Martinsville. Remember this race in the spring? If you don't, it's okay. Kyle Larson won the race, but Stewart-Haas Racing dominated this race. Stewart-Haas Racing, that was probably their best chance at the win, and they threw it away. But Ryan Preece led like 100 and something laps and won a stage. Eric Almirola, I think, led laps. Chase Briscoe led a ton of laps. Kevin Harvick led some laps and I think finished top 5. If they can somehow do that again, and you know his teammates would help him, Kevin Harvick could very well win this race. And remember, back in 2015, Jeff Gordon in his final season won at Martinsville to get into the championship 4. So could we see a Jeff Gordon kind of situation? And Gordon was kind of the same thing as Harvick. He was running top 10, I think, in points-ish, but had yet to win entering the playoffs, made it to that round of 8, and won at Martinsville to advance to the championship 4, even though, Martinsville's the beginning of the round versus the end of the round. Anyways, I think it's going to take a win for Harvick. I think Martinsville's a great opportunity, and if he gets to Phoenix, he is the favorite, no question. I don't care how good Truex has been this year. I don't care how good Byron's been this year. Kevin Harvick at Phoenix is terrifying. He's got 9 wins, I think, the fact that he hasn't made a championship 4 at Phoenix has to be a relief for the rest of the field, because if he made that Final 4 any of the years 2020, 2021, or last year, Harvick probably would have won the championship. That track has been his best track. He has, I think, 9 wins there. In fact, he was in position to win this race in the spring before a late race caution came out. He led 30-something laps, was leading with 6 to go, but because of the late race caution, they were kind of in that crappy position with the pits and staying out and all that stuff. If Kevin Harvick is in that Final 4 at Phoenix, it's honestly his championship to lose. The only problem is he has to get there first, and that's a bit of a journey. So Kevin Harvick, his final year, his final season, can he get it done? Can he get his second ever championship? His first with Ford, actually. That would be very interesting. But Kevin Harvick, his final year, his final, what's it called? Hoorah. Yeah. But Kevin Harvick, do you think he can get it done? Let me know in the comments. If you have not seen all the championship cases, we got 14 others, and then one more being made tomorrow, and then this one, of course. But go check those out in the playlist. If you're a Tyler Reddick fan, we got one for you in there. If you're a Joey Logano fan, we got one there for you. If you're a Martin Truex Jr. fan, anyone who's in the playoffs and isn't named Bubba Wallace, we've got it made already. But if you're a Bubba Wallace fan, I got you tomorrow. But as I said, tomorrow, Bubba Wallace championship case, and then Friday will be the playoff preview and a potential surprise video on Thursday. So thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. I'll see you guys tomorrow for at least the Bubba Wallace video.